Guys, I thought about it. I cooled back down, and I'm ready for the rest of your questions. So shoot it. And Ashley, word this question very well.
Welcome back to the Queer Quarters. This is going to be the part 2. And welcome back, Thomas Sanders.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here for a second portion, a second helping of queer cuisine. Hey.
Oh,
I
maybe that should be our restaurant.
We should make a queer cookbook.
100%. Absolutely.
But you know what? It's all right. So now diving back into the questions.
Okay.
With a rich background in musical theater, how do these artistic experiences influence your approach to perform and storytelling online?
You know, musical theater honestly has really helped me mostly with the music that we create. Like I'm definitely a musician just told me that this is a genre, and I'm like, oh gosh, this is totally what I make. It's musical theater pop, because people talk about like they make their assumption about me that I always listen to Broadway music, and I'm like, no, I don't listen to a lot of Broadway music, not anymore. I listen to this and this and this and this, and then they're all like, those are like musical theater pop musicians, and I'm like, oh man, okay, well then I guess you have my number, because that's exactly what I listen to. So like music videos are definitely any of the musical sequences that I've incorporated into my videos. Not to mention just like, I think my form of entertainment is exactly the kind of comedy that you would see in a musical or a stage production. It's very hammy. It's very theatrical, quick movements, witty try to be witty punchlines. It's a lot of that. It's stuff that would make me laugh on stage, and I try to incorporate that into the socials.
And it's obviously very seen throughout your content, especially with Roman. I notice in the Sanders Sides, you do incorporate a lot of singing with him and whatnot.
Oh yeah, he's literally my musical theater obsession embodied in one person. It's so easy with him.
Yeah.
He's this big fairy tale prince, very Disney inspired, musical theater inspired. The costume itself originated from a production I did of Into the Woods. So like, yeah, it's all of that wrapped in one for him.
So your innovative series Sanders Sides delves into different aspects of personality. What inspired this concept, and how do you hope it aids viewers in understanding themselves better?
It first came about because I was moving on from the Vine realm to YouTube, and I was trying very quickly and panically, that's not a word, to transition the characters that I created on Vine to YouTube, give them a place on YouTube. And so I just thought about making a video that explored different facets of my persona, because the one thing that I felt like I could talk about with any sort of authority online was myself. I'm not a YouTube commenter. I really can't. I really struggle with being able to take forms of media or take anything that's happening in the realm of pop or movies or TV and talk about it with any form of authority, because I just don't know enough about it. But I felt like I at least could talk about myself and make fun of myself. And I also had to have been mildly influenced by Inside Out. And just like how there's different, I loved the idea of the different aspects of one's feelings and emotions taking personified forms. And it just felt like a good fit. And then people really vibed with that particular video. And then it developed from there, where I was thinking, okay, well, maybe this is going to be my shtick, at least on YouTube, because a lot of people had different forms of that shtick on YouTube, whether it be character based. I think I was doing this slightly after the whole character based phase of YouTube existed. That was a thing that kind of preceded me. So, but I just decided to do it because it just made sense with what the content that I had been making on Vine was, and it was something that I felt like I could do. And I had not really thought about it as a series. I definitely didn't think about it as in any form of like with any form of lore or mythology to it, but it definitely did develop from there when I did get my co-writer involved with that, who is Joan. They helped kind of develop these characters and take on more ambitious subjects. And I think at the end of the day, it was just an opportunity to kind of like touch on these very complicated emotions that maybe we all deal with, or complicated philosophical ideas that maybe don't have a conclusive answer to them. Maybe it just is enough like where we can kind of like ask these questions and talk about it and how these different complicated things make us feel, and give people who are watching something to chew on for sometimes years. There's definitely questions we've tackled on there where I think even to this day people waffle back and forth on like what might be the correct answer to some of the dilemmas my character of Thomas has gone through, because now that my own person has gone full 180 again back to being a character, tackling different things that happen in his life that don't exactly happen in mine, but still trying to incorporate biographical things into the narrative when possible. So if anybody can glean anything from it, I just hope that it just allows them to have something to chew on in terms of maybe philosophical things in the world, or just life subjects that maybe they hadn't even given a lot of thought to.
I must ask, not trying to throw you under the bus, will there ever be a Sanders Side episode directed about you learning to cook? I mean, it's been hinted at in episodes before, but there's been comments. There's been comments.
They love roasting me about not being able to cook. I I did an awkward adventure. That was another series that we did where we would tackle just different random skills, and one of them was an awkward adventure where I attempted to cook. We did like, and it culminated in a cooking battle between me, my friend Joan, and Drew Gooden. And somehow the judges voted for me. I think they were, I don't know. I think they were biased. I think they said Drew's was too lean and Jones was too rich, and mine was just the Goldilocks right in the middle. So they should just refer to that video.
I'll definitely teach you. I can always teach you how to cook. I cook all the time. I'll teach you.
Okay, good. What is your
I cook all the time. Oh, okay. So recently, I just made homemade chicken parm, and the thing is, my mom always usually makes it, and no one can beat my mom in that specific dish. But I went above and beyond, and I made my own sauce this time. I made my own sauce. I got the tomatoes and everything, and she was very impressed. And for the first time ever, someone actually has beaten her at her own game with that.
Get ready to beat
So
my mom. That's I would watch it.
I do want to say these are going to be some fighting words, so I hope they don't reach the incorrect people. But her mom cooks better than most people I know, including some familial people. I won't name who because I know I might get beat up.
Now the gauntlet has been thrown. Come to.
But going back into what Jason was saying about the Sanders series, I have another question for you now.
Yes.
Basically, delving into the next question, could you share a turning point or a pivotal moment in your career that helped shape your journey?
A pivotal point or a turning point in my career. I'm not sure about a very specific pivotal point. You know, I will honestly say that last year, going through that whole situation with losing my hair was actually an incredible turning point for me, because it helped me kind of confront a lot of things that I had been kind of putting on the back burner for quite some time, mentally and emotionally, in terms of I'm this person online consistently. And people go through changes. They go through aging, they go through weight loss, weight gain, whatever. And people online, especially, I don't know if this is for everybody, but I think people, especially people who are online and occupied a very specific era in people's lives, like I did with Vine, there was this landmark image of me in people's minds, and they use it as a bookmark for how much time has passed in their lives. So if they see me, at any stage, they get some people get sad because they're like, "Oh my gosh, I'm getting old because so much time has apparently passed between now and Vine." So this was an ongoing thing that was happening, but because of last year, when I was like, I lost my hair, I was going through the most depressive episode because I didn't realize how much I tied my hair to my identity. And I changed very quickly. It forced me to confront this fear of change and this fear of getting older in my life that I had been kind of just putting, I had been subduing for so long. And all of a sudden, I was able to tackle it head on. It took months of darkness for me, and I was still working through that darkness. I'll look at myself in some of the footage that I filmed at those days where, the hat that I'm wearing to kind of like cover up what was going on with my hair, and it came off, and I kind of get startled and have to put it back on. My heart goes out to my past self because I was really going through so much there. And it took so many physical changes there. Like all of a sudden I was like, well, my hair fell out. I'm going to grow out facial hair. I'm going to pierce my ears. I'm going to shave an eyebrow slit. I'm going to do things that I hadn't done in so many years because I was afraid of change, of altering my appearance. And then also just like it forced me once again to look back on my old content and be like, why am I doing this? Why did I get into this in the first place? How did it bring me joy? If I don't tackle that now, then when? And it all of these things that happened last year led me to kind of confront this humongous fear and embrace myself for everything that I was and all of the worth that I did have that I just wasn't allowing myself to appreciate because of, for whatever reason, my insecurities, whatever. This body of mine had gotten me through some of the hardest struggles of my life, and I hadn't been giving it any love. And I had this epiphany for myself that I hadn't ever had. And I began to love myself so unconditionally and so wonderfully, like I'd never had before, that nothing that would be or could be said online was going to pierce it. Like it was this incredible transition to love for myself that my young Catholic, very, very physically minded self would never allow myself to feel for years. So it's wild how being brought down to my lowest, or, to one of the lowest of the lows for me, helped me find myself again.
What you were just talking about, about losing the hair. I have a health issue, and recently that just started happening to me. Like my hair is starting to like slowly and like thin out. And I know that feeling where like you get like really depressed, like, oh my God,
Yeah.
like this is me. And now like you're losing a part of it. It's like you're losing a part of yourself. I mean, it's tough. And that's why I usually always
Yeah.
have my hair up.
Yeah.
Is because just to take away from the fact that, even though I used to have really thick curly hair, now I have like semi curly hair, and it's like thin, and I can see like here and there like pieces of it, like not big pieces, but like it'll come out, and like it freaks me out because I'm only about to be 22, and it scares me, and
Yeah.
I try to do at the most best to try to get it back. But that feeling where it's like you wake up and you see,
Yeah.
you see it like it's like different every day, and you're like, how can I make it just a little bit better? And because it really sucks. It's really tough because people don't realize how big of like a chunk of happiness it takes away from you.
Yeah. You don't realize until it starts happening how much you've tied your identity to just your hair. But I do encourage you, whatever the journey may be for you, I do encourage you to like allow this as an opportunity to take a full look at everything that you are and know that your worth and your identity is not just your hair, and that there are so many ways to, like, for me, and this was just my decision was because it was thinning and it was thinning and it was thinning. I talked with three different people who had been going through different kinds of balding. One because they had transitioned, one due to stress, one just naturally. And each one of them encouraged me in different ways to just be like, shave it. Just shave it off. It'll just scare
Yeah, I
you.
always think about that.
Right. And
I always
truly,
think about that, and I'm like, no.
well, and that was I think that was the solution for me. But there are different solutions, and I could probably hook you up because I also had a like a it's this very it's an organic. There's no chemicals or anything. Bio serum that I put in. It it's a miracle. It's a miracle little serum, and it literally began to. It got me over the like all of a sudden my hair started growing back. It was especially made for it was from Sephora, I think. You can get it at Sephora, and it was made specifically from people who were dealing with hair loss due to COVID, which was some one thing that people suspected that part of my skin condition was exacerbated by. But I think also it's just once again it's very helpful to know you're not alone in this situation. It was very cool to know that there were other people that were going through this and had the same feelings I had. It was very cool to know that when I shared my story, other people came forward with their own stories. It's always nice to know that you're not going through this alone. You have a lot of people there that are, either empathize or care for you in whatever aspects that it may be.
So, talking a little more about hardships, we all face setbacks and failures. Could you share a particular setback that you turned into a learning opportunity or a stepping stone for further success?
The one that's coming to my mind right now is just Vine going down. Was like Vine just being like announcing that it was closing down. And it just, again, I'm a huge Taurus. I'm so resistant to change that I am convinced the universe forces change upon me in order to actually help me to learn and adapt and I guess rebirth myself, because I felt like that was a chance for me to rediscover who I was on YouTube. And I think I went through another one of those last year when I had a very come to Jesus moment with, who I was and my identity. So yeah, I feel like that's a really good example of just like, that was a reinventing moment for so many people on that platform.
I feel like that was a good answer and an explanation to that question that he was asking, because it seems like everything is coming back into YouTube. And I feel like also YouTube also gave you like a second chance and also to expand your horizon on things you wanted to do, because you went from like 7 seconds to like how long you want.
Yeah. No, it which was intimidating for sure. It was intimidating.
So now from like switching the platforms and everything, how do you think digital platforms have transformed advocacy for LGBTQ plus visibility?
I guess it just gave them more of an opportunity to talk about their experiences. Sometimes they've had to be very clever about it on certain platforms so they don't get shadow banned. The internet does what the internet does, which is just, it's brought a lot more of what is going on in this world and every day to light. And because of that, it's a double-edged sword. One, it makes people grow up a lot sooner than we had to grow up, which is sometimes a shame, but in a lot of other aspects, it's kind of awesome because people are way less getting the wool pulled over their eyes with things and injustices to the world, like I guess people were getting away with 2 decades ago. And I think that has called for help and perspective within internet platforms when you see things being done wrong. And that's not just with the LGBTQ, obviously. I'm talking about all different aspects of life. I think that is due to the internet and people's ability to film what is happening in this world.
So I know you already discussed this a bit, from 6 seconds on Vine to going to longer YouTube videos, from having straight characters to more queer characters and characters that openly and accurately represent yourself and how you feel and the content that you want to put out. But how has your approach to creating content changed over the years, and what lessons have you learned?
I think short form content, it really hasn't changed. I think I think of something that's funny, mid conversation with friends, or just brainstorming in the car or in the shower or just in my living room, and then I create a short little script about it, and I will make it that day. That very rarely changes. For long form, it has been about figuring out time management for scripting, but also now it's time management not just for writing and filming, but also for reviewing edits, for approving captions, for approving everything else that's kind of happening behind the scenes with my team, and then also just time management for not doing anything, which is always the thing I fall on the wayside with. So yeah, it's I think that has been the main shift, figuring out how to time manage.
That's a good answer.
Yeah.
So basically, with everything you have been doing from Vine until now, in your experience, how important is it to have an open conversation about mental health, especially in the LGBTQ plus community?
Yeah, it's important I think it's important to be honest with your mental health. I think it's important to not be afraid to not be in the best mental health spirits, because that's just unrealistic. I think encouraging people to be forthright with themselves, not so much needing to be forthright on the internet. That should always come second. I think being forthright with yourself and how you're feeling before you do anything on the internet is the most important thing, and to put yourself first. And once you get yourself figured out, maybe then you decide what you want to talk about online with other people and what you're going through.
Hey, amazing listeners. Thanks for tuning into the Queer Quarters. Do you love the podcast? Then share the love with friends and on social media to help our community grow. Check out our exclusive merch on Instagram. Just click the link in our bio to see all the cool finds. Can't find what you like? DM us. We have more to share. Want to support us further? Consider donating via Patreon, PayPal, Cash App, or Venmo. Every bit helps keep us going. Find all the details in our Instagram bio at the Queer Quarters. Thanks for your incredible support. Now back to the show. So I know that you've been very open on YouTube and when you make videos about your mental health. I mean, when you do your yearly recaps, and there are videos as well, like when you had lost your hair and you were explaining, and you do make videos where you do talk about your mental health a lot openly. And it really does, I think, allow other people to kind of be like, oh, I went through something similar, or just kind of take it into account and grow from it and learn. I mean, even if they, don't know you personally and aren't communicating with you directly, they could take that kind of into how they treat everyone else around them, and kind of discuss a little let me start asking this person how they've been, because I started noticing this and that. And they kind of understand, when people try to create that safe space for people to open up about how they feel. And they become a little open-minded to be like, okay, I'm going to let this person tell me how they feel, and, be there for them and support them. And, it it really is. Mental health is a really big thing, and I'm going to try to start discussing mine a bit every now and again in videos, and on my Instagram, on my personal accounts, on the podcast, because the that representation is what matters, because it allows other people to listen in and understand. I'm not a perfect human. I have my own struggles. They have their own struggles, and it's really something a lot of people have to take into account.
Yeah.
So, kind of being that figure that people look up to you. For those within the community, what advice would you give about creating content and pursuing their passions in the arts?
The main thing I go to whenever people ask me something in regards to I guess online content creation is something we touched on earlier on in this discussion, which was just don't do it for the numbers. Don't do it for the comments. Don't even do it for other people in general. Do it for yourself. My content that resonates with me is what I enjoy doing. People come for a particular piece of content and then they stay for the person. I think people have thrived just talking about the niche thing that they really enjoy. And I think that if there was some magical device that allowed us to filter out all of the useless comments with the useful comments, and that includes comments that have, actual important and relevant critiques that one can learn from, given to you in a way that tackles the thing that you did and not you as a person, and you only had those comments to look at and to grow from, that would be the beautiful space with which to work. But if nothing else, I would say really, really, really make sure that you keep your ship pointed in the direction of, does this thing that I am doing spark joy in me? Not for other people. Don't do it because you feel obligated for other people. Don't do it because you feel discouraged or scared of doing the thing you actually like doing because of something that other people have said in regards to the thing that you made for no real reason that's relevant. Make sure you're keeping I think it's such an important thing for online content creation. And I've seen it too often beat people down because how the internet just loves to eat it up in a way that takes them body and soul. And it's so unfair. And I think people, especially young people who have not developed the ability to wrest what is relevant and what is important to them from the nonsense stuff that takes away from their identity. It can be a dangerous space for people who haven't developed the skills to deal with that. So I just really, really want to make sure that anybody that gets into online content creation, makes sure that they keep their eye on what sparks joy in them. And if it doesn't hurt themselves or hurt anybody else, I think that's the most important thing that they should be focusing on. It is really easy to get distracted with anything else that is involved in the internet. It really is. But it's very important to have a check-in every once in a while to just be like, okay, where are we? Is this making me happy? How can I constructively build this in a way that obviously pushes me forward with this career, but doesn't sacrifice me and my well-being and what I'm doing this all for?
What future projects or goals are you excited about, and how do they reflect your evolution as a creator and advocate?
Oh, wow. I mean, I'm looking to do more music. I feel like that's always a thing with creators. They always say, I'm looking to do more music. And I'm sorry that I fall within that trope as well, but I have been working on more. I've just got done, we're almost done finalizing the first ever song that I've almost entirely, except for the couple of the moments in the hook, written myself, that's more than I've ever done writing by myself in terms of songs. I'm not used to writing songs. So that was a big move for me. And we're working on 2 more, and we're working on this finale to this season finale, I should probably say, for anybody following me, just to clarify, with the Sanders Sides that will have 6 songs. So a lot of music, and I know my friend really wants to write a musical with me. Now, whether that's going to happen sooner rather than later, we don't know. Again, that's going to come down to time management and prioritization. But that is definitely something, like, we have the idea and we have the, I guess, the concept of the characters, but there would be a lot of more work to do on that. But that's something that we really hope to do. And I'm trying to think of anything other than those main things. But other than those, just we're experimenting with other new series. So it's a lot of that. Oh, and then voice acting.
Do you think you'd get more into dancing? Because I saw like some of your videos how you were dancing. You saying you were like lifting. Do you think you would like get more into dancing also alongside with that?
To I think that's going to just be whatever necessitates dancing. I feel like I'm going to learn that. I have no idea if I have any plans to take classes in dance, but I mean, that sounds fun. I did pole dancing for last summer, which was really fun. It was a fun challenge. I just like doing random things that challenge me. It's good stuff. So like, I probably wouldn't say no if given the opportunity to learn more dance.
I must say though, keep up with the music because your voice is really good, and you know what was it? It was the Running Up That Hill mixed with all the other couple other songs in there. That one was actually really great. I don't know why, but it flowed so well, and I was like, wait, because like, why does this eat more than the actual song?
Thank you. Yeah, my friend,
like no crumbs left.
My friend Joseph we literally flew on that song. Like we put that together within like I think 2 days. We put that song together. Like I vibe so well with him, and he's the one who I'm working on for the new original song. So I'm excited for that. Like he's been giving me A's and B's to compare in terms of sound bits, like as of yesterday. So in order to finalize this song, so I'm very excited, and I'm doing it as a duet between me and my friend who lives here. That's it's coming full circle.
And you know, I also really like Fleetwood Mac. So your cover with your dad for Landslide was just,
thank you.
It was like a cherry on top. I mean, your dad with the guitar, and then I was just like, this was also better than the actual song too. I was like, this is amazing. I added both those songs to my playlist, so I listen to it every few days when Spotify wants to add it to the shuffle.
Jason,
I would love to see him and Lily like do something. You know who Superwoman is?
Yeah, I've done a video with Lily.
Have you like a singing video?
Not a singing video, no.
I feel like she'd be good with that because I've seen some of your videos with her and I love her.
Oh,
she's so funny.
Yeah, she's a sweetheart. Yeah, I've danced with Lily. I've done she was a skit on my series. I was on a skit in her series. Not sung with her though. But yeah, Jason, my dad was so nervous about playing the guitar and being in that video, but that is a video we're always going to look back on. That's just so nice to just have.
Well, give your dad a pat on the back for me.
Like I know the episode that you guys just did with Nivea and her mom is going to be something that they're always going to cherish, you know?
Yes, definitely. No, me and Neve, when we finished that episode, we literally did a group hug with her mom and said, I wasn't going to say that you butchered her name. She might say something. Oh, wow.
I think I made it sound like a freaking water brand. I'm so sorry.
Yes. Wait, no. He said Nivea. That's the lotion brand.
Water, diamond, lotion on your skin, Nivea. We put the oil.
I'm going to start calling her that.
Clean the ducts from the oil, Nivea. Sorry, Nivea. Sorry.
All right. No, we hugged her mom and we were just like, I almost started crying during the episode, especially like when we hugged her. Her mom was very emotional throughout the episode. It was a very, though, like I said earlier in the episode, those are the moments I live for. Those are the days that remind me like why I love doing this so much, what my passion is, and just the things I like to do. But talking about so many big and, you know, projects that you do with people, can you discuss the importance of community and support systems in your life and career?
Oh, I mean, very much like I said earlier, I think it's very important, especially if you're online a lot with a lot of strangers. It is important to have people in your life that know you and love you to ground you and be your anchor amidst all of the online kerfuffle. Like that's it's so important to actually get opinions, advice, and words of comfort or support from those who actually know you and have the context of everything you are and what you strive to be, to balance out the voices of strangers on the internet. It's so important.
How do you handle criticism and navigate the highs and the lows that come with public life based on from what you've done from Vine to the present and then into the future?
Okay, there's a lot of questions in there. I would say for the criticism one, I feel like again, it's taking the note, understanding that you still have room to learn, and you will always have room to learn. And hopefully, people on the internet understand that you will continue to learn through your 20s, through your 30s, through your 40s, through your 50s. And as long as you remain receptive to that, that hopefully that patience and that faith be given to you, as you learn. I mean, again, I feel like that just comes down to knowing why you do the things that you do. And maybe I'm speaking from a place of privilege in regards to being able to continually, I guess, I don't know if everybody online has the ability to do this the way that I do, but I rely on creating videos that bring me joy. And if they don't, then I don't do them. And I think that especially if making a certain thing is just making you sad or it's just not bringing you happiness, it's important to listen to that. And understand that the internet be internet, and sometimes if you're in a low, it's not indicative of a quality of work that you've created. That sometimes may just be the algorithm, that just may be the internet and how people are feeling that day. If the video is very much your baby and it's special to you, then cherish it for what it is. There's a rule that sometimes we go by, which is a 2 for them, 1 for us rule, where 2 videos we make may be dictated by how people, and this is not just a me thing, this is a lot of content creators. 2 videos may be specifically for what they know their audience likes. But then that 1 video, that's just for me, baby. That's what I want to make. I don't care if anybody else relates to this. I want to make this video because it's something I want to talk about, regardless of how well it performs or not. And sometimes that helps you. Sometimes the lows just need you to be able to indulge in your creature comforts every now and again.
Yeah, I definitely want to add when you were saying, when you make the videos, you want to make sure you're happy with it. And if it doesn't bring you joy, you don't do it. And alongside with that, not only does it put joy into you, but it definitely puts joy into others. 100%. Like you do make a difference with what you do, because not only are you giving yourself joy, you're also giving other people joy and happiness and that comfort that a lot of people don't really bring.
Well, and yes, that's true. I think people are smart. People can see when you're genuinely enjoying something and when you're not. They're smart. They can infer that. I know that because I have people that I love listening to, I can tell when they're on their good days and when they're on their bad days. I can tell. And so you're not pulling the wool over people's eyes by trying to put on a happy face and get through a video just for the sake of getting through a video. It's sometimes better to just listen to your body, listen to your mind, and make the thing when you're feeling better at making it, which is, I think, I've really relied on that in regards to people who may or may not be, patient or not patient with things that I am in the process of making. And I'm like, well, you can either have something that takes a while, but I've made it when it's brought me joy, or you can have a pile of something that's less than what it can be because I'm spitting it out due to anxiety or pressure being put upon me. Sometimes the pressure doesn't make a diamond; it just makes a bunch of ash.
So, going into metaphors and whatnot, but do you have any personal philosophies or mantras that guide you through tough times, and how have they helped you stay grounded?
A big one that's helped me recently has been comparison is the thief of joy. That's a huge one because you often forget that you are working on a platform, which is the internet, that showcases everybody in the entire world making something at different times of their lives, but being showcased all at once. So you are exposed to the multitude of the entire humanity's creativity in the spans of the internet, going, why am I not as efficient as these people? When you don't realize, like, no, they've worked 7 months on this baby, or they've worked on this for years, and they're just now putting it out, and you're not behind, and you're actually doing everything that you should be doing, and you're on your own path. So regardless of whatever followership that you're at, compared to another person's, regardless of how long you've been on it, doesn't matter. That's only going to make you sad if you just continuously put yourself against somebody else. Focus on yourself, focus on your own journey, because when you started, you weren't comparing yourself to anybody. And I bet there was a lot less stakes, there was a lot less stress, and there was a lot less, negativity when you were first starting out because you didn't have all the comparison in your brain.
So basically, going into that, what you have done and what you were just talking about, what kind of legacy do you hope to leave with your work, especially for young LGBTQ plus individuals who look up to you?
Oh, I mean, I am already beginning to see certain signs of some form of legacy, which is wild, in that you do have like these. I was just at the solar eclipse. There was this video that made its rounds recently of this girl that, like, yeah, Jason already knows, and this girl who like ran to come find me, and in the midst of this video, because I got these solar eclipse glasses at this college in Missouri, SEMO. I'm going to shout them out. They were very kind. They were very awesome, and they were like, Thomas Andrews was my childhood. Like I grew up with this person, and which is wild. First of all, that's a wild thing to hear. A bunch of college kids saying you were my childhood. Very, very strange. But also, like, how amazing is that? How cool is that? That's incredible to me. So I guess my legacy, I just wanted to be known as a silly little dude that made you smile because of one or two videos out there. In terms of LGBTQ, I guess I would say I would say, like, I would love for people to just continuously, I think most gay people know this, you can be gay and you can be hilarious. Truly, that's some of my funniest, that's some of my favorite comedians. But also, like, you can, I guess, I don't know what I would want in terms of a legacy for LGBTQ. I'm not sure. I guess I never really think about that. I guess I try to help when I can. I try to bring the representation there when I can. I've never thought about legacy. I think all I just want to do is, I guess, be kind to people while I'm here and try to make the content that I make accessible to the people that it should be accessible to, and make them feel happy when they need it. But that's really all I think about. I really don't think of myself as an LGBTQ legacy or anything like that. I think I just try to do what I can where I can, and leave it at that.
Very, very well said. And I mean, thank you for everything, the wise words, and just being yourself.
Yeah.
Are there any other final notes you want to leave off with before our viewers, click out of the episode?
Oh my gosh. I floss your teeth. Flossing is very important. Um, um, you know, support your friends. Be there. Ask them how they're doing every now and again. That never hurts. Just checking with your friends from time to time. Um, and yeah, I think just be kind to one another. That's a huge one. Just be kind. You know what? I also say just like try to. The internet's big. People are complicated. When you can, give people the benefit of the doubt. Treat each other with kindness because you just don't know what they're going through on the other side of that screen.
Thank you, Thomas, for sharing your insights and stories with us today.
You're welcome. Thank you guys. I appreciate talking with you guys.
It's been truly enlightening to learn about your journey and your vision. And to our listeners, thank you for tuning in. For anyone who doesn't already follow Thomas, you can find him on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok at Thomas Sanders. Check out his channel for more inspiring content and updates.
If you're listening on Spotify, please take a moment to leave a rating on our podcast and respond to our open-ended question and poll to engage further with us and this episode. Remember, stories like Thomas inspire us to embrace our true selves and advocate for our community. Don't forget to share this episode and connect with us on social media to continue the conversation. Until next time, keep celebrating your identity and supporting each other. This is the Creek Recorders signing off.